Greetings. I'm John. Haven't noticed. So, anywho, some people have been urging me to be go live because they get tired of watching my picture videos of my when I go off in the wheelchair van. You know, I especially like it when I go out in my car. But I go to dialysis 3 times a week or other doctor appointments that it's a challenge to get into the building. I just go by Carbulance, by wheelchair van. So I take all kinds of pictures out the window. It's an interesting thing because you have to snap the picture 3 seconds ahead of time because my point and shoot doesn't respond fast to. There's no rapid fire like it is on my DSLR. So it's a little annoying, and it's also I'm a moving target. So some stuff comes out blurry, and yeah. But many of the pictures that I take these days is out the window of the van. Um, and then I'll see something and I have to wait for the next time. Hopefully, I remember to get it the next time. And I'll see a barn or something interesting, like there's this old van that I'm trying to get, and I remember it after I get into the town. And it's just before you get into the town. So, uh, yeah. So that's what a lot of the pictures are from. My car is in the shop. Hopefully, they will find out what's wrong with it today and or tomorrow, and we'll see where we go from there. I'd like to get another car, but Traverses are hard to find. They're the most required or the most popular SUV in the GM line. There's three of them: the Acadia for GMC, and the Enclave for Buick, and Traverse for Chevy. So it's yeah, the used ones aren't coming in as quick as you want, and the salespeople they don't respond quick enough to my desires to get me into a car. So when they have one on the lot, it's like I don't know. It's very frustrating. But it's definitely a seller's market out there for used vehicles, and the same with new because the Traverses they get one car in a month if they're lucky, and everybody's jumping on it. There is a Denali GMC up there for $51,000. I think it's a uh, 2021 or something like that. 51,000. It's got 10,000 miles on it, but I have to put down 5 grand, and they're only going to give me $100 on my trade, which is just crazy. 2009 vehicles, you get a lot more than $100 for the trade. It's crazy. It's better off to just keep fixing it, and then my taxes are low on it. Well, it's not taxes; it's excise tax in this state. We have excise tax, which is supposed to go towards repairing of the road, but actually it's a slush fund for the state government because it's off of it's based off of value of vehicle and not off of weight of vehicle. If it was a road tax, it would be based off of weight of the vehicle, which means that it wouldn't change over time. It would always be the same. But now it's like $85. So, when it goes to a new vehicle, it will be like $400, and then it'll creep its way down. And then, of course, the insurance is higher because it's a new vehicle, and the payment will be higher. Right now, I'm paying $300 a month, and if I buy up a vehicle, it's probably going to go to $500 to $600 a month. So it's a crazy world. We'll have to wait and see what it is. I mean, I can get by without a car, but I like to have some freedom when I have my downtime from going to appointments. So I can go out and do things on my own without having to rely on my daughter to offer to take me somewhere. So, um, the taking responsibility is kind of a curious thing on my mind lately because it's really kind of comes down to what it is. Our president of the United States, has done his absolute best to royally screw over the American people and also the illegals that are he's allowing in over the border. Now, their philosophy, the Democrats, they think that if they flood the country with illegals, they'll eventually get their citizenship some way, somehow, whether it's legal or not legal. And then they'll be able to vote Democrat because they'll be so grateful for being allowed into this country to prosper. But I think that whole idea with them is backfiring because the people that come in are recognizing the fact that they can't survive in this country without certain things, and they're paying the same $6, $7, five, $6, $7 a gallon put into a vehicle, even if I don't know how they get around, but they do it somehow. So his reaction to it all is, oh, it's Putin's fault because he invaded Ukraine and he's what's upsetting the markets. Our gas prices started going up the moment he decided to shut down domestic oil production. The moment it started going up, and there was no future left in such things. I got an email. You've got mail. Setting up a photo shoot for a client. Been doing portrait photography, which I don't share any videos on on YouTube because sometimes they get a little bit on the side of caution, and YouTube seems to have rules. I don't know why, because some people get away with things and some people don't. So I don't share my photo shoots with you guys. So that's just really too bad. But that's the way it goes. You can't see everything in my life. Um, yeah, so we got a president that's done many things. He's opened up the southern border and flooding all kinds of crap into the country, drugs and guns and people and slavery and the whole bit. But it's not his fault. No, it's the guy before him that had controls over the border. He blames everybody's fault but his own. All these stupid executive orders that he's done, and he takes no responsibility that they have impact negatively on our country or other countries for that matter. You know, the last joke I saw, well, not the last, but there's so many. There's so many to choose from this president that he was upset with the overturning of Roe versus Wade. And, so many people complain that they don't want the U.S. government, federal government, in control of their lives, that they want to take responsibility for themselves. States take care of themselves. And that was the ruling of the Supreme Court, was to give this back to the states and let the states decide on what's the appropriate thing to do. But he made a big deal about it, and he said, well, it's unconstitutional that a 10-year-old girl has to go to another state to get an abortion because she can't do it in her own state. Well, you know what's unconstitutional is the fact a 10-year-old girl got pregnant. And here you have the President of the United States saying it's perfectly fine for me to rape a 10-year-old girl because that's what I do all the time. It's the underlining thing. The other thing to have a problem with the abuse of underage people, or the abuse of any people for that matter. Because Afghanistan, well, that wasn't my fault. I got my troops out. What happened after that wasn't my fault. I don't know why you're blaming it on me. I did what you wanted me to do. Yeah. And allowing the Ukraine to get invaded, he shouldn't allow that to happen. Thousands and thousands of lives were lost in the Ukraine. It's just awful. But it's not his responsibility. This whole abortion thing. I mean, I understand it. I'm a guy that has never been given the blessing to be able to father children. And I know what kind of a blessing it is to father children. Now, I've raised foster children. I've adopted a couple of wonderful girls. I'll give you that, and just as good. I don't know if it's just as good or not. I don't know, but it's not, pregnancy is not a disease. It's not, catching the flu. When a man and woman gets together and does stuff, there's a chance that they're going to get pregnant, and that's a chance. And if you don't want to have kids, and I have no problem with people having sex. It's no problem at all. I think it's a perfectly natural thing that God has given people the opportunity. Otherwise, there wouldn't be pleasure involved. It would just be something that it happens for procreation. But if you don't want to father a child, then get yourself fixed. If you don't want to be a mother, then get yourself fixed. Simple as that. You either, don't do the wild thing because you don't want to bring a kid in the world just yet in your life, or get yourself fixed. But to say that, the government has to pay for my abortion because I want to do whatever I want, whenever I want it, is just like, it's kind of messed up. I mean, it's a blessing to be able to have children. But if you don't wish to have children, you should take the precautions to make sure that you can't have them. This Planned Parenthood stuff is just a bunch of crap. They convince people to go on some kind of birth control that has a 50% chance of helping you, just like the vaccine has a 50% chance to keep you from having the virus. And, then you get pregnant and you go back and say, I didn't want to get pregnant. That's why I was on the pill, or, whatever they were doing. And they get an abortion. We have in our state, in Massachusetts, we have this idiotic Senator Warren, who pretended to be Native American so that she can reap all the benefits provided by the federal government for becoming a lawyer and whatever other things she was able to acquire as a Native American, until somebody stepped up and said, well, what tribe exactly are you in? Turns out that she's like a tenth of a tenth of a tenth of a tenth of a tenth Native American, which doesn't really qualify, I think, in the Native world. She doesn't take responsibility for lying. So she thinks it's awful that there are clinics that mothers are going to that are being recommended to go to put their child up for adoption. She thinks that's an awful thing. That we should just terminate the pregnancies, just let them keep producing. It's a crazy, crazy world. And I see it more and more every day in this country. I don't know, your countries are your business. But in this world, so many people are just shirking the responsibility that they are supposed to be doing for not only just themselves and for everyone else. You got to take responsibility. Look, I'm going to dialysis 3 times a week. I turned my diet around, but it was too late. But for years, I tortured my body with sugar and salt. And it was outstanding that I even survived this long. And it's miserable going to dialysis 3 times a week. You go there, you lie in a bed or a chair. You're not in a bed, you're in a chair. You can't move much. Move your legs around a little bit, but chances if you move too much, the alarm goes off. They have to come over and reset it. My blood pressure drops and I pass out. It's not a fun thing, but I am still alive, so I can make little chats like this online to people out there that perhaps not taking responsibility for their actions. Fortunately, most of the people that I watch on YouTube, and you know who you are, do take responsibility for their lives. Because I wouldn't be watching your channel if you didn't. So, my hat's off to you. So, but it's a pitiful world that the president. I know the president's going to turn around. He's already threatened another virus pandemic coming up, another version of COVID. Now they have the tool how to control the population, but all they have to do is say that there's a pandemic happening, and they can blame all the deaths on the pandemic. But it could be 100% lie, 100%. And there are people that are just going to believe it. I still see people driving around with masks on. They're driving their car. Like yesterday, I saw a lady. She came out of a library not wearing a mask, and she put her mask on when she was outside. What the freak? I was at a 4th of July celebration. 10,000 people, or I don't know, maybe not 10,000. Thousands of people were at this concert, and the parents would have masks on. The kids wouldn't have masks on. Okay. Strange. Very strange. I mean, there's just a certain fear that still lingers out there, and all he has to do is say, "There's a pandemic. We're doing a shutdown," and this economy in this country can't take another shutdown like they did before. And although I think there's going to be some pushback this time around, but unfortunately, it all depends on what state you live in and how much they're going to cow down to this guy who thinks he's king. And the kings never take responsibility for themselves. Name one that does. I challenge that. Someone's going to go, well, what about Prince Henry? I don't know. Who's Prince Henry? I don't know. But that's it. For all you people out there that wanted to see this face, here I am. I don't know. I think about doing a daily tarot card reading every day. And maybe I'll do something like that. My mornings are kind of tight because 3 days a week I go off. I got things I got to do in the morning and get ready to go off for the day. And I'd have to get up an hour earlier just to do that. I don't want to commit to something and then not do it every day. So that's why I kind of been working on other projects. Meditation. Well, I'll share a little background behind that meditation crossroads another time, because I'm sure this video is already too long. Actually, off of the page. Yeah, 20 minutes. So I'll share that one another day. I wish everybody has a wonderful day. It's beautiful out here. It is a whopping 65 degrees. Sun is shining and it's got a nice breeze. I've got to go off to a doctor's appointment today, back in the van. And then tomorrow, back in the van. And then Friday, back in the van. So we will see how we do, taking responsibility. Ta-ta. End the stream. Are you sure you want to end stream? Yes, I do. And hopefully they won't delete my video.